Behind these doors lie the most precious resource we have. It is the key to our country's wealth. It is the one resource that can provide our stability, our health, our education, our happiness. Behind this door could be a place of love and nurturing, or it could be a place of terror, hurt, and disaster. And behind this door could be a family environment that is rich and supportive, or one that is broken, dysfunctional, and discouraging. We're supposed to live in this amazing country, but our young people are struggling. They're struggling with teen pregnancy, they're struggling with completed and attempted suicides, and more than anything, I think they're struggling to find their own way. You've got a young person with all of this pressure on them, pressure from their friends, pressure from their family, pressure to achieve at university, and it creates a young person who can be very confused and a young person who just feels like they don't quite fit.
If you can get the family unit right, I think everything else just falls into place.
Families where you come home to, it's what gives you motivation, energy to go out into the world to do things. I think if you have a happy, healthy, secure family, you'll be just gives you the great launching pad for doing anything in life.
I think teenagers, young people these days are so in the now that so often we forget that idea of what could later look like.
Toolbox is our 6-week parenting program. It's fun, it's full of lots of practical tips and ideas.
So I'm an area coordinator for Toolbox parenting courses, and I get to work with the most amazing people.
What I love about Toolbox is that it's run in the community, and lots of facilitators are actually grown up out of that same community.
And a lot of the problems these kids were experiencing really were parenting issues. You could see it was there. The way they were being parented was the reason why they were having difficulties handling things. So we felt, well, we'd like to get in part of that process somehow.
I love it when parents come in and they're stuck with their children or stuck with behaviours, and they might take away one idea or strategy that makes a complete difference in their family.
Attitude will go into a high school and will speak in classrooms or to year levels. Often we'll kick off a health topic, let's say sex. Woohoo! So we'll talk about sex, and then the young people will study sex within the New Zealand high school curriculum. The reason people get us in is we can say things to teenagers that teachers simply can't.
So what we do whenever we go into high schools is we deliver the same messages that parents want the young people to hear. We're just a different voice. We're maybe a little bit cooler, a little bit younger, a little bit funnier than parents. Is that mean to say? I don't know.
What Attitude does as an organisation is it tackles all of the really interesting topics: sex, drugs, relationships, but we come at it from a slightly different angle.
One of the main things we do, which is really important with young people, with teenagers, is to use humour. They say that young people don't care what you know until they know that you're funny, or have free stuff, but we don't have free stuff. So we just tell lots of jokes and stories. For example, if I was talking about relationships, I might say something like, when I was younger, I used to struggle to know how to talk to girls. I'd be like, ooh, girls are yuck. Then when I got older, I'd be like, ooh.
Because to most people, a room full of teenagers would be a nightmare, but I see it as fun. It's fun.
And working for Attitude, I get to present well over 200 presentations a year.
We deliver health presentations and resources into 94% of New Zealand high schools.
But I see that as over 200 opportunities to help someone, to maybe encourage, maybe inspire, empower, maybe even save someone's life.
I've found a lot of mind changing in prison. You just turn on switches and lights go on with these guys, realising that some of them have had the most atrocious upbringings and have poor role models to draw from, so they don't actually know different.
One of the coolest things about the job is when we get feedback, and I got some here. I brought some. That'll cook. All right. One of them is the presentation helped me get through the loss of a friend to cancer.
And some of the feedback I've had from those guys, it's brings tears to my eyes. You know, some of them say things like, one guy said to me, I've been in and out of prison for 15 years, and after doing this course, it's the first time I've ever learned anything. Another guy said to me, after doing this course, I now know the difference between the love of power and the power of love.
He sat there with his arms folded and he had an expression on his face that said, I do not want to be here.
He was a big guy, like full tats, missing teeth, just a big man. And he said to me at the end of that session, he said, so, Joy, are you saying to me that because my old lady and my old man used to say, you got shit for brains, boy, you're dumb, you're useless, you never do anything with your life, you're nothing, you're going to end up in jail. Because they used to say that to me, are you telling me that might have contributed to the fact that I'm here?
The next week he turned up again. He didn't sit there with his arms folded this time. He had quite an open expression.
The room fell really quiet. And then the guy next to him, just put his hand on his shoulder. And we just sat there quietly for a few minutes.
Anyway, by the end of the course, he was a changed man. And that was awesome to see that. I get a bit emotional because he was a guy that had some real needs in his life for his kids. And the Toolbox course made a huge change for him.